Residents and local government units in Albay prepare for the worst as volcanic activity continues in Mayon. Joining us tonight to discuss this is Maria Antonia V. Bornas, Chief Science Research Specialist of the Volcano Monitoring and Eruption Prediction Division in Phivolcs. Ma'am, good evening.
Good evening.
Ma'am, how would you describe the activities at Mayon Volcano in the last 24 hours or so?
So currently Mayon is very quietly erupting or effusing lava flow from its summit crater, and the lava flows are being transported to the south and southeast sector of the volcano. Currently, the lava flows are 1 kilometer away, have reached a kilometer distance from the crater. So in the past few hours, after 5 o'clock this morning, we have recorded 104 rockfall events and 2 pyroclastic density current events. These are the primary volcanic hazards in Mayon Volcano. The locals call this uson. These are essentially mixtures of hot volcanic ash and volcanic gas and rocks that travel down the slopes of the volcano and burn everything in their path. So in total, since June 1, when the volcano entered unrest, we have recorded a total of 1,339 rockfall events, 13 pyroclastic density current events, and today we have only recorded 3 low-frequency volcanic earthquakes. These are very weak volcanic earthquakes. No? So, and when it comes to the sulfur degassing of the volcano, sulfur dioxide is a very important parameter for magma in Mayon, because when sulfur is degassed, this means that shallow magma is in the volcano. Yesterday, our measurement averaged 732 tons per day, and today it's barely 149 tons per day. So these are
Ma'am, so would you say that the situation in Mayon rather is getting better or getting worse by the day?
No, it's too early to say that. We need to really look at this day to day. It's not getting any better just because the sulfur dioxide has given off a low value this morning. You know, this emission can change overnight. We still have lava coming out of the summit crater because we still have rockfall. And rockfall activity is driven by the by the flow of lava. So the lava flow is collapsing while it is traveling. We also have pyroclastic density currents, and these are actually driven as well when lava that is moving is collapsing. So we still have lava that is coming out of the crater of Mayon and pushing down all of this material downslope.
Ma'am, in simpler terms, what are the parameters that Phivolcs is observing in order to identify what alert level a volcano should be placed under?
Okay. Typically, we have what we call the baseline parameters. So we have the typical value or the rate that that the volcano emits sulfur dioxide. We have a typical number of earthquakes per day when it's and the typical ground deformation parameters of the volcano when it is at rest. When any of these parameters increase beyond the background, we raise the alert level. But if many of these parameters are abnormal, then we raise the alert levels further. But in terms of Mayon's activity now, this does not apply. So most of the parameters are in background levels, but the volcano is already erupting. So this is new behavior that we are seeing from Mayon. We have experienced eruptions where the seismicity or the volcanic earthquake activity is low, but the sulfur dioxide emission is always high. But this is the first time that we are recording or monitoring an eruption from Mayon where the sulfur dioxide emission is very low. In fact, it is
So
in
the
this is in
uh,
background levels.
So what you're saying, ma'am, is the behavior of Mayon currently is different from what it exhibited back in, please correct me if I'm wrong, if I remember it correctly, in 2018, right?
Yes, sir. So, from what it's doing at the surface, how it's behaving, is the same as many past eruptions. The way it's behaving, it's only from the monitoring data point of view that is acting differently. The sulfur dioxide emission is quite low. So we are very much uneasy with what's happening right now, even though it feels calm. So we need to watch how this will develop because again, this is behavior that we are not quite familiar yet with Mayon in terms of the monitoring parameters.
Ma'am, you briefly touched on this earlier, but in the case of Mayon, are we seeing signs of upgrading or possibly downgrading the alert level 3 we have in place as we speak?
So right now, we have no reason to escalate or downgrade. So we will only escalate the alert status if any of the monitored parameters show significant increases. And we will only downgrade the current status if the status quo is maintained, but lava stops coming out of the crater. And then we need to observe maybe for a couple of weeks before we can reasonably or maybe confidently downgrade the alert level.
Ma'am, I'm sure you would agree with me when I say that information is very important right now and being informed is very important right now. So in the event that Mayon Volcano is placed under alert level 4, what does it mean? What can the residents expect and what should the government do?
Okay, alert level 4 means that there is an escalation of activity. The rate at which material is coming out of the volcano increases, and it's possible that even the volcanic gas increases. So if volcanic gas emission also increases, the potential for explosive activity increases because it's volcanic gas that lends explosivity in any eruption. So if alert level 4 is raised, it means that the lava flow might increase, the rate at which it's getting spewed out of the volcano. We might see lava fountaining events, and then we might see occasional explosive events. And if that happens, we might get the dangerous pyroclastic density currents within the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone. So as a precaution, we will need to add additional areas for evacuation. That would be mainly on the southern and southeast portion of the volcano where the crater is facing, where the crater is breached right now, because that will make sure, that will sort of focus all of that volcanic hazard onto the southern and southeastern slopes of the volcano.
Ma'am, I was able to watch an interview with Phivolcs Director Teresito Bacalcol earlier this morning. He mentioned there that the Mayon unrest may continue for months. Why is this the case?
Okay, there have been instances of past eruptions similar to this, where the volcano is quietly effusing lava, and this activity lasted for months. Okay, so we might get that kind of activity. For example, in 2006, where we had 4 months of lava flow effusion, and the lavas actually breached the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone. It ended up being 6.4 kilometers long. So this kind of activity might extend.
Thank you so much for your time, ma'am. That's Maria Antonia V. Bornas, Chief Science Research Specialist of the Volcano Monitoring and Eruption Prediction Division in Phivolcs.